A little Salem bunkhouse just came in on trade here at Lite RV of Coldwater, Michigan. It's late model, it's in great shape. The folks just needed a little more of it. They swapped up to a larger tandem axle bunkhouse with a U-dinette slide here at Lite RV, some bigger bunks and an outside kitchen. So, you know, it fit the idea at the time. They just find out, you know, what little cramped once you get the family in here. Now, interestingly, as compared to something more common, like say the Wolf Pup 16 BHS or the J Flight 174 BH that we have here at Lite RV, this is an 8-foot wide camper instead of 7-foot wide. That's one of the key differences you're going to hear me talk about over and over and over again. So what that means is that it is a little bit larger. It means that it is a little bit heavier at 3,215 pounds as opposed to 2,900 pounds on the other brands I mentioned. But it also means you get more living space and more storage space inside. And those are very valuable in their own right, of course. And right away, you step inside, and the 8-foot wide standard body nature of this as opposed to a 7-foot wide narrow body becomes readily apparent. When you see that extra space at the end of the bed, that gap between the end of the bed and the wall, that's the extra space you pick up on an 8-foot wide model. And that gives you room to walk in, be able to, you know, kick off your shoes, set some extra duffel bags, whatever the case may be. You could put a little stand there, you can see the power outlet. It's a little space, if that makes sense. A little stuff space, I guess I could say. That would be a better way to phrase that. It is a smaller Camp Queen, although you can get under that for some storage. And you'll also notice full storage above that bed across the front wall, which is a nice touch. Now, everything in here is simple, basic, but effective. That's really the idea behind the Salem series and its sister Forest River. Simple, basic, and effective. Not flashy, not fancy, but it gets the job done. And to that, you know, extent, they've been very effective here. Like, there's minimal lighting, there's minimal windows, but this is designed to be an entry-level, cost-effective trailer, and it fulfills those goals very well. Now, a key point here to being 8-foot wide is a larger, full-size 4-person dinette as compared to a 2-person dinette in a non-slide 7-foot wide miniature bunkhouse like this. Now, by contrast, if you looked at something like a J Flight 184 BS or a Apex Nano 193 BHS, they are 7-foot wide, but they have the same 4-person dinette, but they require a slide out to do that. Normally, an 8-foot wide trailer like this would be a little more money than a 7-foot narrow body, but because this you know, is a used RV instead of a new RV, you have some serious weight savings there. So we've got our 2 single bunks here, and they really just don't look like they were used a whole heck of a lot, which is pretty much the whole reason that this was traded in. It just wasn't being used the way that they planned on it being used. As I back up here, actually, let's take a quick look at the bathroom before we zoom in the kitchen, so we'll just kind of complete the wraparound circuit. Again, this is a simple, more basic level trailer. If you look in here, you can see that, you know, there's no extra skylight above the shower. And it looks like there's shower surround paneling, but it's actually just a white colored wall panel. It's all just Luan paneling. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, guys. A lot of people are like, oh geez, you're gonna water damage your walls. No, what you do when you're done taking a shower, you take your towel and you just wipe down the wall real quick. That's all you need to do. And then you leave this vent open so that it can get a little bit of fresh air exchange in here, and nature will do its thing. Water will evaporate off, and really no harm, no foul. Trailers existed like that for decades before we had to have skylights and power vent fans in bathrooms, and they did just fine. Skylights and power vent fans are nice, but again, this was made to be like just the facts, ma'am. But we do still have a a foot flush toilet at least here with some nice leg room and hip room around it. So if you're a little bit bigger than the average bear like me, you're going to be fine in there. Now, another area that 8-foot wide body is really coming in handy is here in the kitchen with the extra storage. The little bit bigger body on this allows them to put a little bit more storage space in it. What I do like is this extra cabinet right here, this extra kick of countertop space and cabinet space. You could maybe put a little shelf organizer in there if you're so inclined. Now, I noticed that they put some simple black tape over a couple of like the water heater type switches and the water pump switches. I have a feeling these folks basically primitive boondock dry camped, and they didn't want to burn up their tanks, so it doesn't look like the water system on this trailer was ever really used. They kind of apparently just used it as something like a hard side tent. Below that drawer, and I do love this, the silverware like utensil organizer in that drawer, you can see the furnace down there. So it is important to mention this does have air and heat. I think if folks knew enough about the RV industry, that is something that you can pretty safely assume, but, you know, never a bad idea to never assume anything either. Now, I notice there's all kinds of stuff up in this cabinet. Either the folks missed a cabinet when they were unloading their stuff, or this is stuff that they just didn't plan on bringing with them. So if you come to Haylett RV and you see this cabinet still full, well, it's your stuff. When you buy it, you can throw it away if you want, or we'll throw it away for you. But it may not be here because the previous owners might want to come back and collect some things. And overall, pretty happy with what I see outside. That is a manual awning, by the way. However, it's one of the easiest manual awnings you're ever going to use in your life. Now, you know, looking at it, man, it sure looks like a power awning. But the dead giveaway is the little crank out that you see right here, this loop that's sticking out. It comes with this handy little hook. You hook on there and you just spin the hook basically and it cranks the awning right out. Frankly, it's about the fastest working awning you're ever going to find. It works faster than a lot of power awnings. And it has the same easy tilt nature as a lot of the modern power awnings. You're just saving money on the motor. And like I said, it's not one of those old style manual awnings where you have to be like an army engineer to try to figure out how to work the thing. It's pretty simple. If I can do it, Caveman can do it, you can do it. Now you see that baggage door under the window. That goes under the bed, so it is nice to have a good chunk of outside storage space. And frankly, it's on the handy side of the trailer for things like storing your totes for, you know, separating your water hose, your sewer hose, etc. Now again, this is simple, this is basic, this is entry level. It has rear stabilizer jacks, does not have front stabilizer jacks. When I talk about that on our new Jaycos and Wolf Pups, a lot of people think I'm making that up. That not all small trailers have four-corner jacks. This is an example of one that does not. Again, made to be simple, basic entry level. If the only thing you need is a couple extra corner jacks, guys, I got a part shop that can take care of that stuff, but that was the goal and the design of this from the manufacturing standpoint. One good thing here, the roof is walkable. That is nice. This is a small Salem, but it is basically built to the same specs as a big Salem. You still have a 5/8 OSB floor deck, a 3/8 OSB roof deck with 16-inch on-center trusses up there. So if you do need to get up for seasonal maintenance and upkeep, you can. Really, the only significant blemish I've noticed is the folks caught like a tree branch or something like that, and there is a little crease in the metal up here. It's not a puncture, it's not a tear, there's no seal problems. It's exactly the equivalent of if you bought a car that was a couple years old and the folks bumped into a grocery cart at the grocery store and there's a dent in the bumper. It's unsightly, it's unfortunate, but you and I both know it does not hurt the use of that car, or by contrast this trailer whatsoever. Looks like they did use the furnace though, and it is nice to see those little bug screens on there to keep the bugs from getting into those things, because the last thing you want is your furnace to stop working in the spring and the fall because some kind of mud dauber found his way up there and plugged the thing up. Anyway, there you go, guys. I mean, if what you're looking for is to just get out of a tent camper, get out of a tent, or if you want to start camping before you go neck deep on a brand new one, this would be an easy place to start. Being pre-owned, it's not like you have to go through that hard first year depreciation cycle. This is something you could purchase, use for 1 or 2 seasons to get your feet wet, and then swap it out. And I'm not going to tell you that you're going to break even. I'm not going to lie to you and insult you that way. But what I'm saying is you're not going to lose your hat doing it, because you're going to exchange the monetary value that you don't recoup for entertainment value and building memories and experience. So there's different ways to calculate value, and this is a very, very low risk way to do it. So give us a call. And whether you're finishing or starting your camping adventures, you know, upsizing, downsizing, or just start sizing, we can take care of you. So 800-256-5196, Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.